Oh, it's not. Oh my God. He had the old 1-2 left hook on him.
Are you impressed by, in that sense?
I think that he made some good adjustments technically, where he was putting him on the back foot a lot more than he was in the first fight. In this fight, in the rematch, Pereira's just constantly keeping him guessing, walking him backwards, making him feel threatened, and Ankalaev just couldn't even get anything off. So Pereira's back.
I always ask it, but does he move to heavyweight now, or does he fight Yuri, or what are your thoughts?
Tom Aspinall has now spoken out following Alex Pereira's stunning victory over Magomed Ankalaev, and his reaction is making headlines. After Pereira's incredible finish at UFC 320, Aspinall showed huge respect to the Brazilian champion, admitting he was genuinely caught off guard by the result.
I don't know. I'm sure that's his decision. He's the champ. He can decide whatever he wants.
Do you think he should fight Ankalaev again? Maybe that as an option? Give it a trilogy?
I mean, I would watch Alex Pereira fight. I would watch any of them fight anybody, but I think that's pretty cool the way he's just come back and beat him again. See what he wants to do next. Dropped him with the right. Usually you'll see him drop him with the left hooks, but this time he big right one bomb over the top.
Because if you're a real fight fan, you know what the fight of the year it is that we need to see. Alex Pereira's got to move up if Tom Aspinall defeats Cyril Gane at UFC 321. By KO in the first round as well, just to add some extra hype. Alex Pereira's got to move up to heavyweight and try for a third belt at the White House in 2026. Him versus Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira at the White House, June 2026, International Fight Week. Third belt for Alex Pereira on the line. Potential GOAT status for Alex Pereira on the line as well. Tom Aspinall gets the super fight. This is the fight of the modern era of combat sports. Alex Pereira is the real deal, though.
Alex, you are back to being the champion. The belt is once again around your waist. But before we even talk about the fight, you're walking in a booth. We noticed that you were adjusting your foot inside the octagon. What really is going on there? And was this something before the fight, or did it happen in the fight?
Yeah, I think this time it broke for sure. It started turning purple super quickly. But, you know, when I was throwing those low kicks, I saw that they were landing. You know, he changed his stances after the third kick, which is something that he didn't do in the last fight. It's something that I saw Jan Blachowicz did in the fight too, but as soon as I landed the first kick to his lead leg, I felt my foot.
And you were aggressive really from the first moment on. Was the approach to go right at him, or was that something that you saw opening up for you in the fight?
That was the plan in the first fight. You know, I wanted to go up and be aggressive. I told everyone I wasn't feeling well. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but you know, I felt that it was going to happen. You know, even this morning we went to breakfast at Bagel Mania, and we saw one of the guys from Power Slap who we saw last time on fight day as well. He had just lost that night, and today he was there and he just won. So I thought to myself, man, you know, last time he had lost, I lost, now he won, so everything is coming together.
You're gonna have. Do things feel different? You've won the title before. You've been the champion in 2 divisions. Is something else happening here?
To make all those around me happy, you know, all my fans. I feel all the love at the press conference. The fans won't even let my opponent talk. So I feel that, and I want to give people joy. And even in Brazil, sometimes people will say, "Oh, I wasn't watching the UFC anymore until you came," and stuff. So I feel it, and I want to give back to those people.
Well, you're certainly doing that, Alex. Now comes the part of my job that I have to do. That's always difficult because you just won the title once again, and we're already asking you about your next fight. But I talked to Carlos Ulberg and I talked to Yuri Prochazka after your fight. They both believe they're next in line. They both have their reasonings for it. If you get to play matchmaker as the champion, when do you fight, and who is your opponent?
You know, like I said up there, I had a whole speech prepared, but we all know what happened to Jon Jones' brother, so it's not even right to talk about that, and we'll talk about that later. But
Tom admitted he honestly didn't expect Pereira to come out on top in that fight. But the way he did it was absolutely sensational. And considering that Tom Aspinall is not someone who hands out praise easily, those words carry real weight. He described Pereira as an exciting, fearless, and dangerous fighter, the kind of competitor who makes the sport unpredictable and thrilling. But things got even more interesting when Tom was asked the question everyone wanted answered. Would he ever face Alex Pereira if the Brazilian star decided to move up to heavyweight?
Time. I mean, ever since he came to this sport, there was a lot of hype, and he lived up to that in so many ways. He became the middleweight champion, now the light heavyweight champion, not once, but twice, and he just got revenge over Magomed Ankalaev in 1 minute, 20 seconds. Gone in 80 seconds, okay? But it's the way that he did it that was so impressive. He said that he was 40% last time. I'll be honest, I kind of scoffed at that because fighters are never 100%. I mean, for crying out loud, I thought the back end of my career with one eye and a ton of other injuries, okay? Fighters are never 100%, so it did sound like some excuses were being made. However, he clearly was burnt out. He clearly wasn't the best version of himself. Or maybe he just had a fantastic performance, okay? Right? Regardless, he smokes Magomed Ankalaev. So the question is, what's next? Now, of course, he wants to go to heavyweight. Dana White said that he saw him at the Performance Institute on Friday. He told Dana face to face he wants to go to heavyweight. And you would assume that by going to heavyweight, he would mean wanting the winner of Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall, which goes down in just a couple of weeks. But that's not what he wants. He wants to take on Jon Jones at the White House, the greatest of all time. Depending on who you ask, of course. We're not getting into that whole debate, but that's what Pereira wants. Now, I will say this. The man should be afforded some wild opportunities. What he did, the way he came back, the way he thrills audiences, the knockouts that he's had, the career that he's had, the impact that he's made on this sport, and the fan base that will once again be behind him is immense, okay? So I say give the man some fun fights. Yes, of course, there is Carlos Ulberg out there, and there is Jiří Procházka. Jiří, I could not be a bigger fan of that guy. I love that guy, but he's been beaten by Alex twice. I hate to say it, I don't think the outcome would be much different. Carlos Ulberg, yeah, sure. Make him fight Carlos Ulberg, probably beat Carlos Ulberg, because it'll be a kickboxing match. Ulberg's not going to shoot a double leg takedown. He's not all of a sudden going to turn into a Dagestani wrestler that he just beat, by the way, in 1 minute, 20 seconds. He would probably beat Carlos Ulberg as well. So what do you do with him? Well, you give him something fun, okay? There is Jon Jones at the White House. However, Dana's already said he's not going to put Jon Jones on at the White House because he needs people that he can trust. And of course, it's looking like Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler is going to be the main event. McGregor's out there talking about it, announcing it, going on Fox Sports, saying that he is negotiating directly with the White House.
It ain't a negotiation. Wow. It's a done deal, signed, delivered.
So, of course, Dana White refuted that last night. He said, we're not even talking about contracts or anything like that.
We're still talking about the production and how everything's going to work at the White House. We have not started negotiating any fights.
Although I do expect McGregor to be on there versus Michael Chandler, which is crazy because we never thought that fight was going to happen. Jones versus Pereira, okay? I mean, that's a huge fight. That's a big fight that a lot of people would want to see. But what would you rather see? But the fight that I would rather see is Alex Pereira going up against Tom Aspinall or Cyril Gane. More than likely, Tom Aspinall, let's be honest. He's
compared to Cyril. No, Aspinall Pereira, this is the build-up. This is the picture coming to life. The prophecy has been fulfilled. And once he does, fingers crossed, we need Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira for the undisputed heavyweight world championship live on pay-per-view at the White House in June 2026. Pereira gets a chance at 3 belts. Never done before. I know Dana's out here yapping about that. He doesn't want it to happen. He needs to get his fat bald head out of the fucking... Go promote boxing again. We don't need you. UFC fan page edits getting me more hyped than anything the UFC puts out there in terms of promotion. We don't need you, you bald fuck. Get lost about he doesn't want to see Alex at heavyweight. Shut up. This is the biggest fight of the era. You need a White House main event, and this is it. Be there for the fight of the era. If Aspinall gets past Gane, especially, Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall is the matchup to make. And then we're talking. And now we're talking. That is the fight of the era. And I really badly want to see it. And I'm looking forward to it if it does happen. Tom, no pressure, buddy. It's all on you again. But you know what? We know Tom thrives under pressure, so I like it. I like that it's all on the line. I like that there's some super fight on the line that he didn't get with Jon Jones running away. And you know what I'm going to say as well? Untimely, because of what's just happened to him, Alex Pereira calls for a minute of silence for Arthur Jones. Rest in peace. But this is about Jon Jones. Alex Pereira is the light heavyweight GOAT of the UFC. I'm saying it as it is. I know there's DC that exists. But when it comes to light heavyweight things that he's done, Pereira's the light heavyweight GOAT. We don't need to count PED cheats in our GOAT list. All we would have to remove is Jon Jones and Anderson Silva. And we would have a completely perceivably natural GOAT list in our sport. We don't need to include these cheats. We really don't. Pereira has shown dominance. And when he's on form, he's unbeatable. One loss to Ankalaev at light heavyweight, but he's put in work. How good is Jan Blachowicz, man? Jan Blachowicz. You know, Yuri Praska twice. Jamal Hill, not the greatest to win, but the way he does it, easy. Dispatch of him. Jones took OSP to a decision. You know what I mean? That was his easy one. Pereira dispatches him in the first round. Then he goes out there, loses to Ankalaev, it's tough. But beats Khalil, who's a great fighter. We saw that in the Yuri fight, had a great first 2 rounds. Beats Khalil, finishes him, steps up short notice, saves an event. Gets the close loss to Ankalaev. He's been so active, he's been injured, all of this. People must have known that he really wasn't the same. Then he comes back and does this to Ankalaev.